Man, of the three, that is the best opening menu music. I do want to do some attempts on Gael tonight, but I'm not sure if activating the world state change will make me lose chances at things like attacking Dragonslayer armor, or doing some further exploring. I also kind of want to find where the Silver Knight invasion is supposed to happen. Somebody got it. Visions of Gold Codger. Stealth. Alright, okay, so let's do some exploration. Switch to this one. I know I didn't really explore this area at all. I shall. It still kind of bothers me because I feel like this architecture is familiar. But I'm not sure where I saw it. Oh, that sucks. That's a neat attack. Yeah, he's got me. Who would win in a fight? These guys or the ticks from Canehurst? Canehurst ticks are those guys. It would have been funny if they had introduced the Bloodborne thing, where they like ate your souls. It would have fit. Yeah, I think the Canehurst ticks might have the upper hand. Let's see what else is up here. I know I didn't go. Very far that way. And there's an adjudicator over there. Who knew ghosts could hurt so much? Yeah, where's his invasion? I know it's on a tower or something. You can get his hammer. Hey, Mountain Justice. Ruh-roh. You should get a,
And so, she lived in fear of the dark, of the things that gnawed at her flesh, and yet, the abyss hath yet to produce any such creature. Fear not the dark, my friend, and let the feast begin.
That's Irina.
And so, despite his weighty armor, he lived in fear of a delicate thing, little more than a girl, where fire is hidden, shadows twist and shrivel, but in the abyss, there are shadows none. Fear not the dark, my friend, and let the feast begin.
Huh. Yeah, I figure that's Irina and Aegon. The first one's definitely Irina. And he lived in fear of her? Alright. Hello, gentlemen. Doing a little bit of exploration before I start the final boss. That's an interesting tree. Huh. Oh, I see you, I think. Yep. I see you, jerk. Mini boss time hype. Oh, he got me. Just as I was restoring my ember. Yeah, I'm way more... You know, it's weird not being in his boss arena. Because I'm used to fighting him in his boss arena, where it's basically up and down. There's no side to side with him. Alright, I'm gonna run for him. YOLO! Get around the adjudicator. There might be a closer bonfire. Is there a closer bonfire? Yeah, I figured this was the closest one. I'm gonna pop the ember. I don't think I'll have the time to heal. Oh, thank you, message rating system. Shit. Get out of here. I love fighting that guy. He's like one of my favorite bosses, but he loses something without his awesome armor. I mean, his awesome theme. They don't have heads, just like in Lothric. Wait, was he the one taking off their heads? Hey, is there end? What's going on? Has he been decapitating them? Is that what he was doing in Lothric? Just taking off their heads? Alright, before I aggro anything, let me read the stuff. Should be towards the bottom, right? Wait, hold on. I'm not seeing it because I'm blind, apparently. There it is. Stark melted iron helm of the ancient Dragonslayer armor. The armor, defeated by the champion of Ashen, Lothric, was left to ages to rust until it slipped into an abyssal swamp, where it was possessed once again by the memory of the hunt. Well, yeah, well, I'll beat you again, nerd. So that's like the first item description that pretty much out and out takes into account our aspect.
Welcome home, Ashen One.
Like, I don't remember even Dark Souls 2 talking about the exploits of the Seeker of the Throne.
Then touch the darkness within me.
So that places this timeline pretty far. He's my favorite. He's one of my favorite bosses to fight because of the dodging.
Ashen One.
So timeline is pretty much wow. Hopefully it cools down. Hey, Loki. So pretty much Ashes of Ariandel and this DLC take place timeline-wise at least after Dragonslayer Armour. Loki, come here. What are you doing? Loki has his own command if you want to see what he looks like. Exclamation point. Loki. look like dark wraiths. I'm sure that's intentional. Okay, one sec. Alright, back. So I need to pop over to my DS3 files and look off into the distance, because these are huge walls, even though the city is like right here. It's sort of like in the clouds too, isn't it? Wow, this isn't... I was expecting water. There's nothing out there. Just taking a quick screenshot. Gorgeous view indeed. Alright, we ready for some regret? Now, here's something I wrote on Twitter earlier. Before I go touch things I probably shouldn't go touch. That's an egg. Now, there might be something in it, but it doesn't quite matter. Here's something else. That is also an egg, next to luck. I'm just going to put that out there, let you guys commiserate over that. I'm not sure if anybody's mentioned that or not, but interesting similarity. Visual fidelity isn't the best here, so I'm not quite sure what this is trying to be. Is it the dark itself? Is it a shell? Hmm. Her crown looks like the Firekeeper's crown. And those aren't cracks, those are veins. Hi. And there's the shot they've been planning for like 3 years. Because that's the background image for Dark Souls 3. So, since we're suddenly on the cover art of Dark Souls 3, let's take a look around. That's what, Ariandel? Looks like Ariandel. Lothric was in the CGI. Nothing behind us? That's Lothric right there. Has anyone done this boss battle and kept him alive?
This red hood is come to eat us, to eat our dark soul.
I'm set up for Madeira, but this'll do. You guys, have you heard of a vacuum? It's dust, just a little bit of dust. You know, right there in that corner. You've got some, your beard, okay, I can use that. A second here. Ah, that was delayed. What are you doing, Gael? Gael? Shoot, I should have rolled. I've already lost too many Estes, so we'll see how far we get. What? How does your miracle be better than mine? I'm done. Yep, he got me on the wake up. Okay, so I don't have to make this huge run. Come on. Damn it. Thought I rolled it. He's got me. He's doable. If I can get through phase 2, I can Ember out after phase 2 and save some Estus that way. Safe to heal. Got me. I didn't realize he had the Artorias flip around. That was the tell for that. Off time. hell. Yeah, that was totally off time. Hey Chad, thanks for following. Damn it, it's off. That was a waste. Come on, let's go. Alright, let's go. Thought it was 4. Would you break your poise already? Can you repeat after this boss? PS4 cuts it off. Alright, this is not going to be a win, but... One more. Yeah, he has a lot of health, but he's doable, I think. I just need to get better at third phase. Everybody says his first phase is the hardest, but I think it's the easiest because that's kind of just the way I play. Damn it. Damn it, you got me. Yeah, he got me. What? Yeah, I guess. Some people have different experiences with different bosses because of their different play styles. I play without a shield. I try to dodge everything. Some people use big shields. Dang it. That's out of stamina. Couldn't wake up from the Estus flask fast enough. Is that a stem? Phase 3. Lightning got me. Shoot. Yeah, I can crush the first 2 phases, I think, pretty good. I just need to have enough Estus to survive phase 3 and to learn the dodge timing phase 3. Because he does 2 very quick hits in quick succession. Yeah, pretty much. I knew I wasn't going to win that fight because I was down too many Estus. I really need to bleed him out, not use magic. Oh, that was terrible. Do a thing. Late. Yeah, he's chewing through my Estus right now. Yeah, Chadweed, it's the cover art for Dark Souls 3, that skybox. We've been staring at the final area for 1.5 years. That sucked. Ah, damn it, out of stamina. Alright. I always forget he's gonna do that second move. Ah, he's got me. Yeah. Oh, that was risky. Ah, he got me there. Yeah, the opening cutscene too. That's the closest I've been all night. And I wasn't expecting to get that close. Because my first two phases were way too messy. I thought I was early. That was late. Come on, lock on. Stay on target. 1, 2, not 3. Can't. It fucking counts. That counts. In DS3 it counts. In DS2 it doesn't count. I got the soul, it counted. So at the very end, I was being a little greedy. Like, I knew he was a hairbreadth, and I knew I just had to hit him like once, but I had like no stamina, and I knew it because I could feel it. Yep. That was the last boss. Feels good, man. Jesus Christ, 120,000? Karabunix, there are 3 required bosses in the DLC. There is 1 optional boss. The optional boss is pretty cool. If maybe a little too beefy. Yeah, he ate a lot of dudes. I want to take a look around here because this is... Oh, wait, first, now that the bonfire is lit, Wow, his soul looks exactly like Manus's. Two bats. Two bat demons. A dragon and the knight you just saw, Carabinix. And there's one more, which is basically a PvP boss. Soul of Slave Knight Gale, one of the twisted souls steeped in strength, used to acquire many souls, or transposed to extract its true strength. The red-hooded, wandering Slave Knight Gale sought the blood of the dark soul as pigment for the painted world, but Gael knew he was no champion, that the dark soul would likely ruin him, and that he had little hope of a safe return. He was not a vessel for souls, and that was his downfall. Yeah, I can't believe how many attacks I dodged. Like, I'm gonna watch that back and be like, what the hell? How the hell did I do that? So the crown's really interesting. Lighting's really bad, though. Do I have my torch? This guy's crown is really super fancy. And he looks like the newest guy. And they all have writing on it. But I think it's just Dark Souls writing. Yeah, I tweeted Kitamura Yuka when I saw this boss the other day, and I tweeted her like the choreography of the music, because you can choreograph music in video games now. Destiny does it a lot. That the choreography of her theme for Gael is on point. She saw it because she liked it, and I'm like, yes. There's supposed to be an item around here, I think. There might have been. The sky is way darker now. Is it me, or did the sky just get dark? I'm gonna have to rewatch the fight because I was not paying attention. Yes. Destiny does it a lot. Some of the more modern games do it a lot when they rely on music. What happens is they will set flags, and they'll be like, okay, boss hits X point. Please start seeking to this movement in this song. And it'll transition into that movement. Yeah, definitely darken for sure. It's like you're supposed to spend a heck of a lot of time fighting him. Yep. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll start a world state change at Gael's long cutscene where he realizes that he has a dark soul within him and he needs to die so that he can get the paint or the pigment to the painter. Yeah, you definitely can't see Lothric as clear now. Because that's Lothric. And Anor Londo should be that way. And I noticed the entire ringed city is in the clouds. There is no ocean around it. So that's really telling in and of itself. Yeah, that's still Lothric. And then... Hey, what's all this over here? Could this be a skeleton? Or a weapon? No hope ahead, time for dark.
I've searched for thee, dark, stricken creature. I am Shira, daughter of the Duke, descendant of gods, and trusted friend to Medea. At once, I am in honor of the gods, the glory of fire, and the fear of the dark. Thou shalt not go unpunished for thy treachery, thy profanity, and thy shameless yearning.
Yeah, she got me. I thought I had to go back for that encounter. Welp. Hammers haven't always been my pain, and where was she? Down this way? Yeah, down through here. Spears aren't my favorite either, but
I've searched for thee, dark, stricken creature. I am Shira.
yep.
Daughter of the Duke, descendant of gods, and trusted friend to Medea. At once, I am in honor of the gods, the glory of fire, and the fear of the dark. Thou shalt not go unpunished for thy treachery, thy profanity, and thy shameless yearning.
I keep dodging that wrong. Listen. That's a cool move. Is that 5? Got hyper armor now. Okay. For heaven's sake. Got me. I need to be more aggressive on her. She's the same person. No, they are the same person. Because you go to her and you say that your god is still Gwyn. So, and then she's like, okay, so you still remember the old gods. Can I ask you to do a thing? Can you go kill this dragon because he's being a jerk? And so you go and you're like, okay, fine, I'll go kill the dragon. You kill the dragon. But she's also sworn to keep Filianore's secret of, you know, like, the secret of Filianore is that she's, like, dead. So... messages are slightly off. So, you did the thing that you weren't supposed to do and touched a thing.
I searched for the dark, stricken creature. I am Shira, daughter of the Duke, descendant of gods, and trusted friend. At once, I am the honor of the gods.
I hate this arrow
of
thing.
the fire and the fear of the dead. Thou shalt not go unpunished for thy treachery, thy profanity, and thy shameless yearning.
Because they wanted to keep the Dark Soul right where it is. Break time. Thank you, ratings. Ah, you're out. You dummy. So am I, though.
Would I ever forgive thy lowly kind?
What's that? Crucifix of the Mad King. Is that a key item? Oh, blood of the dark soul. Blood of the dark soul that seeped from the hole within Slave Knight Gale. Used as pigment by his lady in Ariandel to depict a painted world, when Gael came upon the pygmy lords, he discovered that their blood had long ago dried, and so consumed the dark soul. How many pygmy lords were there? I'm pretty sure it is the cleric beast sound rage-tastic. Where is this crucifix? I thought it was a weapon. We are all the pygmy... The pygmy lords are the people we met along the way. Where is this crucifix? Okay, great. I found it. A cross spear hung with a malformed corpse. Once, a mad king was born to the pygmy royalty, and Shira, knight of Filianore, put him to rest. But Shira's crossed spear, unable to kill the undying king, only pinned itself to him. Shira delivered them together to a dark room where she stayed and held them close. Mad King's folly. Wait a second. I want to see what this looks like. Yeah. Just let me see it. You know what it kind of reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of Santir's spear. Hey, Max Freaks. What's going on? Ha, he moves around. That's like... This is like this game's amygdalin arm. So basically, this is a prince? A child of the pygmy lords that she killed? Because why? Oh, which one? So this is supposed to be the Church of Filianore. So you go up, and then you come out. Oh, I think everybody's like stuck on Midir. Did you ever fight Calamite in Dark Souls 1, Max Freaks? Death. Basically, Midir is Calamite's moveset. So if you're familiar or you remember Calamite and his moveset, how you deal with that, you have most, like 80% of Midir. The problem with Midir is Midir's got like 15,000 HP in New Game. And I think the hard part is rushing him down to do damage on him at all, because he will flip out across the arena. Like, my biggest problem with Midir isn't anything but that, really. It's like I'm spending half the time chasing him down to even do some damage on him, but his head is very vulnerable if you can gamble and like hit him on the head a couple times. Otherwise, back legs with lightning. Lots of lightning. All of the lightning.
Welcome home, Ashen One. Speak that. Very well. Then touch, take, nourish.
So I beat Gael at 104, New Game. Probably grab another level 2. But let's see what's for sale at our friend's Wonder Emporium. Midir is really just attrition, and I like his boss. I like the spectacle of it. I like the moves, but I think he's tuned a little too high. 15k? It's a little high. I still need to figure out if this image is the image of the MGS from Demon Souls. Note its curved guard. The Dark Souls one is a straight guard. Let's see. Yeah. The grab is tough. I think it's a good thing he doesn't do the Calamite thing, though, where he makes you take double damage if he catches you. Ah, here we go. Gael's Greatsword. Yeah, right. Greatsword of Slave Knight Gale, the only weapon that he kept with him from beginning to end. Originally an executioner's sword made for decapitation, this blade is heavily chipped and stained with the blood of countless battles. Blade of Peril, a precarious technique unique to undead Gael. Leap in any direction, slamming the greatsword to the ground, then follow with a normal attack for a large spinning slash, or strong attack to backstep and jump forward in an overhead slam. It's very interesting that he used an executioner sword. That probably should have told people what Gael was about, or would be about eventually. Basically, Quelaag's Fury Sword redo. It's really cool. I saw somebody with it. It was nice. Aha. Repeating crossbow. This crossbow, customized for repeat firing to face mobs alone, was wielded by Slave Knight Gale. Used in the battles of an endless journey, this crossbow is covered with twists and dinks, rusted with blood, and made extremely brittle from overuse. Neat. Anybody want to see anything? I'm thinking about picking up the Gael's greatsword just to have it.
I took the man to choose life over.
I guess there's two things left we need to do. I'll think about it. So I won't be able to use it. Oh right, yeah, I wanted. If I'm not gonna do that, then I'm gonna just dump the souls.
Welcome us, speak thine heart's desire. Very well, then take.
Build's pretty much done. It's kind of weird. Whatever.
Farewell, Ashen One.
And it gets Shira's garb here. I don't think it's here. I think I have to go back to her door, which sucks. It's the worst part of this DLC. Yeah. And then we have to go talk to a painter, and then we're all finished. So, all of the Twitch VODs, except this one, are sitting on my YouTube channel. I had to finish time stamping them, but I wasn't going to release them until this coming Tuesday to give everybody a week lead time for like anti-spoilers and stuff like that. Unless you guys want me to release them now so you can start talking in the comments, But let me know before tonight's end of the stream. I hate this area. One, two, three, 4, 6. So apparently this is Shira's corpse over here. And so, according to the Crucifix, yeah, somebody definitely needs to grease the door. She killed a Mad King born to the Pygmy royalty. So the Pygmies had a royal line themselves. But the Pygmies are undying because they're all undead. So yeah, the Pygmies had their own royalty too. There was at least 4 kings. Although I think there was maybe more thrones in the boss arena. See, I'm just thinking out loud right now, so if you guys have any thoughts, let me know. Did Gwyn think that the Ring City worked so well that he redid the, added the experiment in New Londo? Is that what's going on? Back to the cover art. Because I doubt the Duke that Shira said that she is born from is Seath. Like, I doubt it was, you know, Seath, but... Is this centered? You're not very small. I'm trying to see. Here's a wild, unsubstantiated idea. Like, seriously, here's a wild, unsubstantiated idea. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Might just be the same style of dress because the robe of prayer looks like it's made from old Witch of Isolith stuff. But I have a wild idea that former Lords of Cinder become pygmy kings. Or the Lord's pygmy. And they become wizened individuals here in the Ring City to keep watch over what's left of the Dark Soul, maybe? Where the hell did the... yeah, there it is. Oh, how practical. There's a little veil in front of it. So what if all the Lords of Cinder get their thrones here? And this is reality. Which certainly explains a little bit why Miyazaki said that the end had already come. So there's no saving the world, there's just judgment. Very interesting. Yay for Zorend. Alright. Sure there's an item that I'm missing or something. I swear there's something I'm missing in here. What does everybody think of the Pygmy Kings? The Lord's Pygmy. We're just chatting about the Pygmy Kings and what if the Pygmy Kings are reflections of past champions of Ash or chosen undead, and that these are their actual thrones, because this is reality. The truth of the world is here. Very interesting. Very, very cool. It asks, because now you have to wonder what is real and how the cosmology works in Dark Souls 3. Because obviously Miyazaki said that the apocalypse had already come. And this is the cover, this area is the cover art. There's one thing we have left to do. But how does a painting, and further, how does a idol of a snake woman hold the key into, quote unquote, the truth? Is it very much like the original Painted World of Ariamis, where you had to like jump out? There was two quote natural exits. Now remember, Dark Souls is not a straight line. Its lore is not a straight line. Its timeline is not a straight line. It is a circle. The beginning is the end is the beginning. Everything now is on fire. Guess I don't need that torch. And take a peek outside. The whole church is burning. Hello, half-dragon girl. Can I cut your hair so I can get a weapon? Because your hair is basically your tail, right? So can I get a weapon? Here's your blood.
My thanks, Ashen One. With this will I paint a world. Please tell me thy name. I would name this painting after thee. My thanks. I will paint a world of that name. 'Twill be a cold, dark, and very gentle place. And one day, it will make someone a goodly home.
The furtive pygmy was the guy who, by luck, because remember, something I mentioned on Twitter earlier, when I noticed, when I started timestamping, dang it, I keep hitting the wrong button. The luck icon is the shell that Filianore is holding. And within that shell is the dark soul. She was holding the dark soul. And guess what? Luck and the dark soul are pretty much one and the same. But the furtive pygmy was not alone, and apparently Gwyn gave them their city slash fiefdom slash prison in the Ringed City. And they had their own royalty, the furtive pygmy, and there was pygmy lords, and I think they all had their own throne. And I had a wild idea that each furtive pygmy is a representation of a chosen undead from past cycles.
I wonder when Uncle Gael intends his return. I hope the new painting will be to him a gentle home.
Where are we going to put the new painting?
My thanks. I will assuredly finish the painting of a cold one day.
Is that it?
My thanks. I will of a one day.
I have, I'm not going to tell you. Sorry. Gael will be back. He's getting his cigarettes. So yeah, there was more than just one pygmy lord. But the furtive pygmy found the dark soul and formed his royal line. Because apparently the pygmies had their own royal line. Well, okay, so I think I told Mountain Justice this yesterday. But there's a huge myth across the world in ancient civilizations of something called the world egg. Like Ra was born out of an egg. The cosmos was born out of an egg. It's a big thing in Buddhism that the world is a big egg. There's a big Wikipedia page on it, and usually the world egg is wrapped around with a snake. So that's kind of what I think they're referencing. I think they're referencing the world egg myth. That's kind of a worldwide kind of like big myth that everybody kind of has a variation of. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that the egg is a reference to the world egg. Yes. And like the first picture you see in Wikipedia is an egg that is being constricted by a snake. And if you think of the primordial serpents, who apparently are kind of dog-like, right? Right, Loki? That's right. So that's immediately what I thought. I thought that Filianore is holding the world egg, and it seems that it, like my first thought when I first saw the trailer was that the world egg in her hand was broken, which explains why everything is falling apart in the quote-unquote real world that we fight through in the base game. But I have doubts that the base game is the real world, but a projection of that real world. But it might be. I'm not quite sold on that because of the armor description for Dragonslayer armor, which references the chosen ash specifically, which is kind of neat. The armor, defeated by the champion of Ashen Lothric, was left ages to rust, until it slipped into an abyssal swamp, where it was possessed once again by the memory of the hunt, which makes me wonder how long ago. It definitely places both DLCs after the Dragonslayer armor fight. By extension, it might also place the DLCs after Lothric and Lorien, and far, far after. Because apparently this was left ages to rust. We killed Dragonslayer armor ages ago, apparently. So, another idea I have about the Ring City is that it is basically Shangri-La. Because if you look at it and you try and find like an ocean, you can't find it. It's in the clouds. The whole city is in the clouds. Yes, it is talking about us, the player character. Which pretty much solidifies the timeline within the game. It's super crazy, isn't it, as your end? Left ages to rust. So how long? Like, it was left on that bridge for so long that an abyssal swamp took it. I know! I'm gonna run over there real quick. It should be here. I can't wait to hear Aegon just like his brain is going to melt. There are statuary references to Frampton Cough that makes them look not quite snake-like, and I'm not sure if you know already, you do fight the first boss in what seems like Dark Souls 1's Firelink Shrine. His brain is gonna melt. So, apparently, we kill Dragonslayer Armour here, and somehow his armor slips into an abyssal swamp where we find him in the streets of the Ringed City to kill him again. Yeah. Let me go run over there. The geography is very Silent Hill. It's impossible, but it's like there's enough there to say this is that place. So, like, once you beat the Demon Prince, you can walk through here, and this is the Ark, and if you walk through here, this is where you meet Frampton, and he will take you from here straight down. Seems familiar. And in Dark Souls 1, there would be a statue right here. And further in Dark Souls 1, there was cut content where Andre was supposed to move that statue. And this was supposed to be a door to something. Like that reference. I like that reference. This guy doesn't get the reference. So, when you walk in, there's an item. This one, which looks very much like this one. Keep that in mind. The small banner used by envoys of Great Lord Gwyn in the days of yore face the ringed cliff and hold the banner high to summon facilitators of transport for the pygmies who took the dark soul the Great Lord gifted the Ringed City, an isolated place at World's End, and his beloved younger daughter, promising her that he would come for her when the day came. Which he never did, because Gwyn is the worst best father ever. Now keep that in mind. Lothric itself, I think, didn't worship through the Way of White. I think they worshipped Gwyn in the very old ways. And I think that's confirmed by who the shopkeeper Pilgrim is that you first come across in the DLC. Because if you kill her, she drops her ashes. And her ashes, the picture of her ashes has the priestess ring on it. And I called Lothric following not the Way of White, but an older variation of the Quinn myth before the DLC came out. I feel great. Furthermore, guess what the dark sign is? The dark sign for realies is a seal. And you can infer that from here, which says, for this reason the gods cast a seal of fire upon such weapons and those who possessed them. The dark sign is a seal. So, just real quick, if this is where Frampt talks to you in Dark Souls 1, then through here would be where the catacombs would have been. And then, if you point sort of this way and down, you would see Blight Town all the way down there. And then concentric walls all the way out there in the distance. A seal on humanity, a seal on humanity's life. And then straight down in Dark Souls 1, like straight down, would have been New Londo. Of course, all of this is kind of blown apart, so like the scale is all wrong. But if this was Dark Souls 1, that would be the Undead Burg up that way, and then the parish would be straight up this way. So like I said, the geography is wrong. It's very Silent Hill. Like, it's impossible. Only this little remnant has remained. It's like, I wouldn't be surprised if this swamp is like stuff from Blighttown. But if we keep going down, which means that the Batwing demons in Orlando and Dark Souls 3 aren't working for Guinevere at all. They are working for Gwyn himself as facilitators of transport. Because it's always when you have a ring. Iron Golem drops a little ring, an actual ring, that calls the facilitators of transport. And then you have stuff. So the ring city should be that way. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that should be the ring city. But it's wrong. Oops. I thought I was gonna die. This would have been if you took the express route down with Frampt, this would be a load screen. So we have no way of knowing if this is how it actually looked like, because this is load screen in Dark Souls 1. This is load screen, load screen, load screen, load screen. Load screen. Load screen. And then you appear, but you appear at the kiln. And I don't think it's going to play the CGI again. Let me back up a little bit. And that would be the Ring City. But if this was Dark Souls 1, you would appear in the kiln. No. I think Gwyn gave them the Ring City, but it was one of those backhanded gifts, both as a beautiful prison is still a prison. And it was still a prison to keep them from getting out. Because I think Gwyn was still afraid of humanity. I think that's still right. I think they weren't lying to us in that. I think Gwyn was still afraid of humanity, and he was still afraid of losing his own power and to give way to the age of man. So his first thing when he figured out that the pygmies found the dark soul, which means that they are royalty, so he did treat them like royalty, but he still put them in prison, and that's still a prison. If this was Dark Souls 1, this would be the kiln. The skybox would be very similar, and then you would find your way to a different ringed building. But this is all sky. And there is nothing below us. Very surreal here. This is very surreal. Yeah. Definitely. I don't think it's going to run this CGI again. I think it's just going to appear. I'm surprised. Because it doesn't run the CGI after the first time in the base game. I love how blasé you are about it. You're like, oh, hi guys. In the base game, you're like, what the hell? A beautiful prison is still a prison. Hey, Mimitum, welcome back. Bye, guys. So yeah, there's no ocean. Which is also very surreal. There's no ocean out there. It's just sky. I think we did end up doing so. I think the pygmies have something to do with humanity. Huh. I think that's how JSF beat him too. Today. Pestilent Mercury. So, yeah, we were just talking about some things. There's like... Although, for reals, this might be the only true sun you ever see in the game. Probably. I think Manus was one of them, because wasn't his story that he was dug up at the manipulation of Koth at Ulasil? They're like, hey, why don't you, should dig up this guy. And Manus went a little bit nuts. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. Where's the dark sign? Is the dark sign sun here? Yeah, you can't see the dark sign sun. And if the dark sign is a seal upon life, then is the base game that we've been in the entire time real, or just a projection that imprisons humanity in there to think that they've been doing things while we've all been imprisoned in the Ring City? Because I don't see a dark sign sun here either. It's gonna take a lot of thought. This is all gonna take a lot of thought. Dark Souls 3's design works is printed in Japanese. It is 340 pages long, according to FromSoft's Japanese PR Twitter. Well, they at least dug him up, and they took his pendant, and he went nuts. I'm not sure if they tortured him at all, but Ulasil was greedy. And mind you, that's something they like harping on a lot with patches, is that humans are greedy. Humans are full of hubris and greed and fear. And in a lot of ways, that was why Gwyn was probably afraid of them, because he's not human, remember. And he doesn't understand that even though humans have this propensity for greed and fear and warmongering, that humans are also capable of really positive things too. Like the city in its prime. But I think I remember reading that Koth played upon Ulasil's greed and got them to dig up Manus and partake of some of his blood, which would have some of the dark soul in it, according to Gael, which he didn't find because their blood was dried up, so he just went and ate their soul. No. Remember, as Yoko Taro says, the director of Hey, Burry Minshield. Thanks for following. Yeah. As Yoko Taro says, the director of Drakengard and Nier, people are heroes and justified in their own minds for what they do. And Gwyn certainly thought that he was justified in what he was doing because he understood from his point of view. The most difficult thing is understanding somebody else's point of view. And Gwyn believed himself right in his own mind. Because he didn't understand humans. He didn't understand what was going on with humans. He only had his own perspective. And that perspective leads to misunderstandings and miscommunications and stuff like that. So he felt a fear of humans because all he probably saw was our propensity for silly things. Like Patches keeps telling us, and we keep falling for it because we're still greedy and we want that damn treasure. Speaking of Patches, I should go get his Lap's armor set. I like him better as Lap, by the way. It should be there, right? Dark Souls lore, just remember, Dark Souls lore is in Ouroboros. Yep, One man's hero is another man's villain. They're complicated, but it's not nearly as straightforward. It's not black and white. It's not light and dark. Huh. I don't think I got one either. Black Knight? I don't think. Not on this character, I don't think. This character is not my platinum character. Ah, there it is. How do I get down there? So yeah, Dark Souls lore is a Ouroboros eating its own tail. There is no beginning, there is no end, but there is the end of a cycle, and which is the beginning of a new one. So people complaining that there's no strict end are kind of missing the point of cycles. IMO. They're looking for a finality that isn't there in a game about cycles. Steel helm of the Amnesiac Lap. This plate armor helm that covers the head cleanly without even slight gaps provides heavy defense. Quite fit to conceal a hollowed body and indeed one's very identity. Thanks, game. It's a little like the Judgment card. So I keep bringing that up because I keep thinking about it. Dark Souls takes a lot of inspiration from the Judgment card. The Judgment card features an angel blowing a trombone and people rising out of their graves to receive judgment, whether they're going to end up in paradise or not. It has a lot of the beginnings. It has a lot of art references to the beginnings of the tarot deck, and the Judgment card is the final card of the tarot Major Arcanum, I think. I have to remember. I have to look that up. But for Dark Souls, it starts with a bell, and people, Ashen ones, rise right out of their grave, and they end the cycle and begin a new one at the same time. Thanks, Lap. Okay. So 2.5 hours. Spent a lot of time talking. Does anyone have anything else they want to ask right now? As far as what we just witnessed and stuff like that? I can't wait to see Aegon's reaction. Of the 3 endings, Secret Betrayal. I think the Yuria ending, Yuria misses a bit of the point. It doesn't, it's another band-aid on an issue that won't last. The dark sign is still there. The dark sign is still a seal on humanity. And maybe Yuria doesn't understand or doesn't know because how many people end up in the Ring City. Patches does. We do. Gael does, but apparently Lorien and Lothric did. That's important to remember. Lorien and Lothric went to at least the rubbish heap and smacked a demon prince around. That's pretty important to remember. And apparently that happened a long time ago, because the first Pilgrim you meet might in fact be Emma, which is weird because didn't she die? Question mark? In the main game timeline? I digress. But it doesn't solve anything, and it just moves the goalposts in a different direction, the area ending. Linking the fire is exactly the same thing, except in the other direction. You're still beholden and still imprisoned to the cycle. At least by choosing to let it go, which is the hardest decision for anybody, because linking the fire, becoming the Lord of Hollows, those are all choices born out of fear of what's next and what could be next. That's like, well, hold on to scraps any way you can, because who knows what not doing it brings. It's probably going to be either Lord of Hollows or Secret Betrayal. I don't think linking the fire is anything more than just a little Dutch boy putting his finger in the dam to cover one hole when there's 50 million other holes happening all at once. Linking the fire might have helped in Dark Souls 1 and 2 when the apocalypse hadn't happened. When you could have stopped the apocalypse by just linking the fire. You can't do that now because the apocalypse had already happened in Dark Souls 3. So, linking the fire is a Sisyphus, is a Pyrrhic victory. Lord of Hollows at least allows you to do something else, but that doesn't really play very well to both DLCs. It only plays well to the first one. The Easter egg ending is definitely not, because apparently, because with the Easter egg ending, or the Demon Souls ending, I like to call it, you're still worshipping the dark sign? But why would you worship the thing that seals you in? But yeah, I'm thinking out loud, so I'm like just spitballing a lot of ideas. Hey hey Zadorsky, how are you? We finished the DLC and we're just kind of chatting away about what we saw and what our thoughts are before we start just actually thinking about it, like our immediate reactions. Yeah. By the way, do I have an Executioner's Sword on me? Hey, what's going on? Welcome. I think, Azure End, the best fresh start is retreating into the new painted world. Which might be just another world. Because if she's making a new painted world, is the base game a painted world too? Is the only reality we see Filianore's church? I think there's a lot to think about, Zed. I think there's a lot to think about. There's a lot of, like, mind mind-bending timeline stuff that, and it throws into question the validity of the world that we were in, because Emma's reappearance, the fact that we end up on the cover art for the final boss, which version was always real and which one isn't. The egg is definitely just like a shell around the dark soul. I think Filianore was just kind of holding the dark soul. And a long time ago it broke. And by the way, I keep pointing this out, but the icon next to the luck attribute is an egg. So I'm super excited about all the possibilities that are happening now. What was real, what wasn't. How long ago was the base game in relation to the DLC? Because the old Dragonslayer Armour suggests that the base game, the events of the base game happened a long time ago in relation to the final DLC. Yeah, I mentioned earlier that the eggs is basically a reference to the world egg myth. So I'm super excited. Lots to talk about. I'm gonna stick these videos on YouTube. Most of them are already up. They're just waiting for me to timestamp them and release them early next week. Mostly so that people on my sub list who might not want to see spoilers yet won't have to see them until next week. But there is so much I'm super excited about to like just chat about. So unless anybody like Azure End or Zad or Ragetastic or Memitim have anything they want to ask real quick or something they want to respond to like right now, I guess we can start calling it a night. Super excited, you guys. Dark Souls is an Ouroboros. The beginning is the end, the beginning is the end. Wait, hold on. Do I have the kiln on here? I don't have the kiln on this character, do I? I think they could have done a bit more with Gael. Leonhard? Did I, like, not do your quest on this character? I think they could have done more with Gael. I'm gonna open up the kiln real fast. The biggest thing is that the Firekeeper's crown is very similar to Filianore's crown, which is also somewhat similar to Shinra's crown. Yeah, I think they could have done more with Gael. Like most of Dark Souls, which has always been a bit of an impressionistic painting, they give the impression of a guy who was very loyal to the little dragon girl, Um, very loyal. He wanted to do what he could. Well, Gael knew he couldn't come back with the Dark Soul. But at the same time, he knew that we were champions. So there's that question.
And the lords go without thrones.
I get what they're trying to get out with him, though. He is seemingly a loyal guy who ran off to the ends of the earth to do something almost impossible, to bring his little dragon girl what she needed to make a new world, to paint a new vision. Yeah. And I have to wonder, Zad, if Guinevere was never a thing. I have to look up some Dark Souls 1 item descriptions, because if Filianore is the youngest daughter of Gwyn, then does that throw anything into question? Did they ever state how old Guinevere was, or what? Another thing to think about with Gael too is that he always used an executioner sword.
To the old gods of Lordran, deliverers of the first flame.
Oh, I've gotta pull that poem. You're right. I gotta look at that poem. I hate that I go the wrong way. Disparity. See, here's the dark sign sun here. Oh man, I totally forgot she might, yeah. See, I was reacting more to Dark Souls 2 with our discussions about all of that, so I'm like... I mean, this looks like the rubbish heap, or the dreg heap. What? I thought this only appeared if you didn't own Ashes of Ariandel. There are 2 entrances to the Dreg Heap? Come... What? Wait a minute. I have a wild theory suddenly. Oh, Emma's dead. Why is there an angel up here? Why is there an angel up here? No, seriously, why is there an angel all the way up here? Yeah, well, this is the old woman's ashes, right? So I think you guys might be right. I think you guys are totally true. See, if you look really closely, that's the priestess's ring that she's wearing. Umbral ash of the old stone-humped woman. With this, the shrine maid will prepare new items. Things that have dreadfully run their course accrue at the great dreg heap. This old woman was once the wet nurse of royalty. Can you shoot it from here? That's super cool. Kind of annoying, but super cool. Okay, so Dark Sign Sun is here too. So the Dreg Heap has Dark Sign Sun. And then you travel to the Ring City, which doesn't have the Dark Sign Sun anywhere in it. So that's really interesting. Thanks, message. I guess I'll leave the angel alone for now. So I like the characterization of Gael. That he knew that you would follow after him after fighting with him versus Frida. So he left these messages so that you can know where to follow him. And he also left these little landing pads so that you wouldn't die, which is how you're surviving these huge drops. So he also had a bit of miracle, another miracle other than his silly miracle, his corona. Yeah, it's definitely a miracle pattern. They're so eerie looking. Yeah, no more blood. So he devoured the Dark Soul. But he knew that there was no safe trip back. So I'm pretty sure he led us to follow after him and to help us through our world so that maybe at least we'd have a chance because he knew we were a champion. But why did he leave without telling us or having a small dialogue at Frida's bonfire? Yes. That sounds very reasonable. That sounds pretty much what I was thinking too. So is this still the base game world? Yeah, and the blood did make him run wild, which is why he ran wild, and he borrowed Doctor Strange's cape. That's the one thing I think they should have had, Gael in Frida's boss room say a thing. Like, this is the first time, because that's Gael right there. This is a special message. You can tell because it glows differently. It's like on fire. And if you go up to it, this is Gael. It's just pointing down. And if you look really close, you have a clue that something's not right with Gael. Because if you look really close at his messages, because they're not the same as normal messages, those are skulls. Check that out, dude. It's not just glowing with a fire effect. Those are skulls, you guys. Yeah. So freaking cool. So cool. Yeah. And this is like the same effect he does at you. It's like Foxfire. Cursefire, Foxfire. It's like that. Very reminiscent of his attacks at the end of the game. So maybe he was already like getting corrupted, because he's not a vessel for souls like we are. And I think the whole thing about vessel for souls is that we didn't have our own soul, we didn't have our own like humanity. I'm not quite sure about that, but that would explain why a quote champion is different than any other normal undead. Like this dude over here, who is a normal undead, but not a champion, like we are. Yeah, definitely. So much to think about. And this might be still the base game world, because that's the Dark Sign Sun, and as we found out from all of the Ringed Knight stuff, the Dark Sign is a seal to keep in life. And you don't see the Dark Sign in the Ring City. You don't see the Dark Sign Sun at the cover art box, the box art area. Oh, so cool. So freaking cool. I'm pretty excited. There's so much to think about, and I'm not settled on any one thing right now. I wonder if it's pointing, if like where it's dripping down is the Ring City. But you don't have like a real ability. Yeah, it's super cool. Yeah, the Dreadkeep might still be in base game world, where the Ring City is not in base game world, because it's... Yeah, let me figure it out, and let me do all that. I'm just like being really ADD right now because it's so exciting. See, there's no Dark Sign Sun. I can run around forever and like not find it. Like, you can see ruined Lothric from here, and ruined Orlando. But but you can't see the dark sign sun. There's no seal here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what happened. See, that would be Lothric down there, but it's already ruined and decrepit. Far more ruined than you see it in the base game. And Anor Londo, when you see it in CGI, it's far more a skeleton than it is now in the base game. So, is there a bit of time travel in here too? That instead of going backwards like you do for Artorias of the Abyss, you go to the very end of time in this expansion. Yeah, it's definitely in the intro. It's on the box art too. This is the box art. I call it box art land. Man, how long have... This also kind of solidifies my thought that the two DLCs were supposed to be released together, but Bamco decided not to. I'm going to try and get up before I leave to go listen to... No, that's Lothric right there. You can't get to it. But this is Lothric. It's even more of a ruin than it was. Like, you can see the bridge, it's like broken in half in the middle. Yeah, this is Lothric though. And the bridge where you fight Dragonslayer Armour is broken in half. So I have a feeling that coming to the Ring City is not just the end of the earth, but it is also the end of time. And that's Anor Londo. And which makes my initial thought that this DLC is the inverse of Artorias of the Abyss pretty weighted. It's a dark mirror to Artorias of the Abyss. Instead of going backwards in time, you go to the end of time. Instead of... Because I think Gael is also codenamed Manus in the game files. Alright, Zad, let me go do that before I get sidetracked again. So, the eventual degradation of all things. Yeah. Let me turn down SFX and stuff like that.
Ashen One, if when thou peerest upon the first flame, thou wishest yet for a world without fire, for an end to the linking of the fire, then call upon me. I am a firekeeper, and I tend the flame to the very end. Thou hast given me eyes, and such it was they showed me. Very well. Then touch the darkness within me. Take nourishment from these sovereignless souls. Let these souls withdrawn from their vessels, manifestations of disparity, elucidated by fire, burrow deep within me, retreating to a darkness beyond the reach of flame. Let them assume a new master, inhabiting ash, casting themselves upon new forms. Let these souls withdrawn from their vessels, manifestations of disparity,
Yep.
elucidated by fire, burrow deep within me, retreating to a darkness beyond the reach of flame. Let them assume a new master, inhabiting ash, casting themselves upon new forms. Let these... Mayst thou thy peace discover.
Yeah. Souls are manifestations of disparity, of light and dark. Yes, and they'll be taking new forms, which is mine, in the form of level ups. But you're taking a soul from one guy who has life and has the ability to die. Yeah. And you want to take a new form by casting themselves to ash, which is us, because we're ash. Yeah. Well, you know, consumption is a huge thing, apparently, in Dark Souls 3. You have Aldrich, who consumes people to get their souls. You have Gael, who, like, resorts to cannibalism because they don't have... Their blood doesn't course with this Dark Soul anymore. They've dried out because they're so old. And so he resorts to eating them. And we cannibalize souls after we kill them, and we just eat them souls. It's like, it's... Yeah. It's super cool. Yeah. Like, I don't think the first sin was linking the fire, and I think the Ring City proves that. I think the first sin was giving humanity life. Because maybe we weren't meant for life, but we do such amazing things, even if it's all for naught. Full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Hey, Michaela. We've just been talking about our reactions to the DLC. Yeah, very, very maybe. Cold, life, love, hate, jealousy, and wanting, and the thing about humanity is both hateful and caring. Humanity is both brilliant and dark. Humanity is both greedy and giving. It is both light and dark. Humanity can be both yin and yang, and that unpredictability is scary to some people. It was scary to Gwyn, because what would our age of man have looked like? He had no idea, and it was super frightening to him. So he imprisoned the Pygmy Kings in the Ring City, and he let his daughter become a political hostage to hold on to the dark, what's left of the dark soul. And yeah, like, it doesn't answer questions, but I don't think Dark Souls needs to answer any questions. Because there's no... You know what I mean? Like, the story isn't about what happened to Guinevere, or where does Yorshka fit in, or anything like that. Dark Souls is essentially a story about humanity. It's a story about fear and wanting and all the things that make people people, and what happens when fear tries to contain that. Yeah. And Lap, his other half of him, the person he is without the baggage of life, is as innocent as a babe. It shows his true intentions in a lot of ways. Maybe the persona of Patches is something that protects himself, and he's been doing it for so long, it's the only thing he really knows how to do anymore. Yeah, like there's a few different directors who do some of the same stuff. Like Yoko Taro does it with Nier and Drakengard, but albeit in a very out there kind of way. Spec Ops: The Line did it for modern shooters. You know. Yeah. Well, he was protecting himself. So here's... Patches never grew hollow because he always had somebody to mess with. Oh yeah, definitely. Here's my crazy idea. When the Firekeeper baptizes you with the souls of these 4 lords, she sends you to the end of time. To the kiln at the end of time. So it's not that she's sending you to a different Firelink shrine. Where is it? Ah. She is sending you forward in time to the same Firelink shrine. Which would make... Which might be why if you wrote like a note here, it'll appear here too. And it appears at the Firelink Shrine in Lothric. They're not multiple Firelinks though. They are the same Firelink in different points of time. The Dark Firelink Shrine in Lothric is the present day. this is in between times. This is our purgatory, and the Kiln Firelink Shrine is at the end of time, at the end of the world. It's not multiple, they're the same ones, just at different points. I'm super excited, you guys. I can't stop, like, thinking about it. So, okay. Maybe, would you guys like me to release these videos a little bit early this weekend? Or so that we can start talking about it on this video? Or are you guys willing to wait for sort of the spoiler-free grace period? I know I can't wait, but I don't know if Aegon's finished it or if he's like paying attention, or any of my other subs. Yeah. I might put it up this weekend. Most of my stream, most of the 8 hours or something that I spent in the DLC is already on my YouTube. They're just waiting for timestamps. They're unlisted right now. They're just waiting for me to timestamp things. This one will go up as soon as I get off. Alright, cool. I can't wait to talk to you guys about everything that once you guys finish experiencing. Yeah, the optional boss is a bit hard to find. Gendo Akari. If you want, I can show you where it is, or Michaela, or I can let you figure it out. Alright, so I'll finish timestamping them tomorrow. Just, oh yeah, I know you haven't played Dark Souls 1. Just, lightning, Michaela. Just lightning. Just so much lightning. Alright, so I will finish timestamping them, and I will start releasing them in the weekend. I'll probably release all 4 videos at the same time. I just want to timestamp them because I wouldn't sit through like 8 hours. I know some people will, but I won't. Anyway, thank you very much for coming, everybody, and chatting. It was awesome. I can't believe I beat Gael in that way. It was a double KO. It was kind of amazing. You guys will see it. It was kind of amazing. Alright, thank you for coming. Thanks to Dark Souls. And I'll see you guys this weekend. Thanks, Michaela. I can't wait to hear what you have to say when you're finished too. So I'll see you guys. Bye. Why do I always do that? Good night, guys.